Hi everyone, welcome to this pick a card reading about what your intuition has been trying to tell you. We can use this reading as a sort of confirmation about your intuition. Maybe you've already had something tugging inside of you and you're just like not sure if it's even right. Not that I think there's anything right or wrong. But the way that this reading is going to work, if you've never ever encountered this before, maybe, I feel like most of you probably have. But if you don't know how this works, I've got 3 separate groups for you. I'm going to be using different decks for every single group. So the way that this works is that you're going to choose your group. This is group number 1. This is group number 2, and this is group number 3. Again, there's no right or wrong way to choose your group. You can choose by the aesthetics. Maybe some of these graphics appeal to your eye a little bit more than the other. Maybe you choose like your lucky number. You can scroll down in the description to see the timestamp of your group. And yeah, basically you just choose with your intuition, which is what this reading is going to be about. And you will then go to the timestamp or scroll in the thingy, this, I don't know what this is called, like this part of the video, to choose your group, and then I will do the reading for you. Alright, group number 1. If you chose this deck, I don't know if it's focusing, I can't really see. If you chose this deck, then this is going to be your reading. So we are going to be shuffling together. If you don't really care about this, then I will put I'll put a timestamp over here if you want to skip right through when I have pulled all the cards. Oh, a card already wants to come through. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. This is going to represent your current situation, the problem that your intuition has been trying to tell you. Okay, how is this a problem? Honestly, this is sort of kind of a 2-in-1, to be honest. It's already telling me like what this is about. Okay, how is the Ace of Pentacles a problem here, Spirit? Okay, 6 of Swords. Okay. I want to pull one more card to look at your problem. We'll see what context this fits into. Ace of Cups. Another ace. Okay. So the problem that your intuition has been trying to tell you about is about your behavior. And specifically your behavior potentially on when something new is about to happen into your life, just because we've got 2 aces here. and then Six of Swords in the middle, which is kind of telling me that like you need to move on. Okay, this is interesting. So the Six of Swords is the card telling me about why this is a problem, and again, Six of Swords is really about like moving on, bringing baggage. I think when something new comes into your life, you might bring like old energy into it. You might be bringing like old baggage into the new beginnings that are trying to come into your life. Ace of Pentacles is essentially talking about behavior. More specifically, either behavior, or if we're being a little bit more literal, I suppose, this is about like money. Ace of Cups, this can be about, the cups is more of an emotion type situation. So let's see, can we get a little bit more information, Spirit? Yeah, I think if we're being like more specific about this, we're talking about your behavior towards money and how like the money coming into your life is sort of like really related to fulfillment for you, because again, this is being surrounded by two aces and there's the cups here, which to me is a little bit more about emotion. Okay, can we get a little bit more? Get a little bit more information. No cards are wanting to come out now. What is group number one's intuition trying to tell them about this new behavior or their behavior about money? What about their behavior about money that they really need to reevaluate, or what they need to move on from? The Devil. We love to see it, aka we don't, aka I don't know, it depends on what your relationship is to hardship coming into your life or shadows. Yeah, I think your behavior on your behavior is keeping you stuck. Your behavior is really, you're not in control of your behavior, essentially, I think, with the Devil here. You are not in control of your behavior. You might think that you are, but essentially, the devil is okay. I don't literally mean like Satan or the devil is controlling you right now. I can't tell you about that. I can't confirm. But that's not what I'm trying to get at here. So the devil here is about like the deepest parts of ourselves that it's our shadow, right? It's the part of us that we have learned to suppress. And because we have suppressed it so deep, it then has such a strong hold on us. It even makes us sometimes feel like we are trapped. Or maybe I should say you instead of we, but it's a very, all of this are universal, right? That's what tarot is. But this is what is keeping you trapped. If you're feeling trapped, if you're feeling like you are going nowhere in your life, and you are really like, you really want something new to come into your life, you want a fresh start, you want a new beginning, but you feel like you are just stuck. This is why. It's because you are not aware of your shadows. You're not aware that your shadow is essentially like controlling your behavior, And the Six of Swords here, the Six of Swords is about like moving on to calmer waters. So I think that's what you need to hear as well. That like it is safe for you to move on. It is safe for you to travel to the next like destination in your life. Like you're going to be okay. It's going to be rocky. That's what the Six of Swords is about. It's going to be rocky. It's going to be difficult. It might be difficult for you to breathe. But you're going to be okay. You're going to make it to the next island. And to get to that island, like you have to get on this boat, right? You have to get on this boat, even though, the waves look scary and everything. It's going to be difficult, like I said. But you are going to move on to calmer waters. No, I don't want to read that. Okay. What is the solution here? I mean, I kind of already told you about the solution, so let's just pull some oracle cards to maybe give a little bit more dimension to your reading. It's kind of a very simple reading, group 1, to be honest. What is the solution, or are there any messages that group 1 needs to hear about? You've got the Sun, self-express, and embody truth. Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna be reading the guidebook for this. Because I just really like the guidebook, to be completely honest with you. And again, I just want like a little bit more dimension to the messages here. Okay, so the Sun. The Sun is a symbol for life itself. Your heavenly soul was born into a mortal body and given a physical form to experience the truth of who you are. Just as your human identity is an expression of your soul, life on earth is an embodiment of the heavens. and the sun represents the birthright of all living things to self-express. So yeah, that's really interesting. This is about self-expression, about identity, embodying your truth, the person you were born to be. And the message here is, enhance your self-expression by embracing the quirks that make you you. Perhaps you have gone down the very normal, very human rabbit hole of comparing yourself to others. Maybe you have felt some envy or some shame, like you aren't who you are supposed to be. You're being reminded that who you are is exactly right. Your loving guides and angels see you in your entirety. They love you unconditionally and cheer you on as you increase your light. They say, the more you step into your truth, the more powerful your creative potential and the more connected you will feel to your life as a whole. So, can you work on aligning your physical self with the truth of your spirit? The sun is most brilliant as an expression of the moon. Remember, every being in truth brings their own unique offering to the collective tapestry. Every individual life matters in the complex web of existence. Allow yourself to step deeper into your authenticity. Radiate, shine, and be seen. You are a gift. Maybe you have forgotten a little bit about how amazing you are. And the sun here wants to remind you of that. You need to connect more to yourself, really. And you know what's interesting is like we've been talking about shadows here with the devil. Obviously shadows are dark, right? And then the sun, like the sun is what lights up this world. This is why we are able to see. The sun is life. It gives so much life here on earth. So I think it's time for you to tune back in to your light, okay? Recognize that you are the sun, that you do give life to others as well. I know it seems like it's kind of discombobulated here. Even I'm trying to connect the dots right now. Although it makes sense, right? It's the shadow controls you when you are not aware of it. So it's time to shine light on your shadows and really remember like who you really are. Like, who were you when you were a kid? Who were you before all of the wounds that you have collected throughout your life, right? All the ones that have already healed, all the ones that you have still kept, that you maybe keep picking on, right? Because like if we have a wound and we keep picking on it, like it can get infected and you know you're not letting it heal. So it's time to look at yourself, your internal world. And yeah, I really recommend you look into, with the devil here again, I feel like it's the most significant card here. I really recommend you look into shadow work. I do actually offer private readings about shadow work where we can look at like what parts of yourself that you have suppressed, what these parts of yourself that have been like controlling you, and you can learn how to suss it out, not suss it out, but like be more aware when it happens, like be more aware when the different parts of yourself show up in your life. What do they sound like? What responses do they like spark in you? So you know when they're controlling you and when your behaviors are actually not like really genuine. It's really coming from wounding or past, you know, trauma and everything like that. But yeah, group number 1, that was a pretty simple reading. That was yeah, if you enjoyed it, please do give it a like. If you felt like it's a little bit like unclear, then let me know. I'm happy to maybe explain myself through the comments. Um, if you need that. I'm always happy to receive comments from you, especially if you said, I don't know, if you resonated with it, then it's just really fulfilling to hear that. And yeah, thank you so much, group number 1. Um, hopefully see you soon. Bye. Hello, group number 2. If you chose this deck, this is going to be the reading for you. Okay. So, first card that we are going to pull, we are going to look at the problem. What is the problem here? What is the current situation? What is the problem that your intuition has been trying to tell you about? Let's see. What is the problem? Nothing wants to show itself at the moment. Okay, in that case, let's see. Okay, we've got the Queen of Swords here to represent your problem. Let's pull another card. We've got Justice. Hello, are you focusing? I have no idea. Let's pull another card. Oh, wow. The Devil. Okay. I think clearly with Justice being in the middle of this reading, being in the center of this reading, I think something unfair is happening right now in your life. And with the Queen of Swords, I think because the swords is really about the intellect, it's about communication, it's about words. And Queen of Swords is the boundary queen. Because it's representing a problem, I think there's your lack of boundaries. I don't want to say that your lack of boundaries is creating this injustice that is happening in your life, but it sure as hell isn't helping. It sure as hell isn't helping that you are not asserting your boundaries. And I want to pull a card from the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck to see what area of life this injustice is happening in your life. We will get to the Devil. Don't worry. But yeah, I just want to see what area of life this injustice is happening in. feel like that wants to show itself. House 7. Okay. I was hoping that one of the houses cards is going to come up, and it did, which is really helpful because it's very specific. Anyway, house 7 is the house of relationships, profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. So this could be an injustice happening specifically in your relationships. It doesn't always have to be romantic. I know obviously it says like romantic partnership, but it can also mean like like the card says, it's about profound relationships as well. So if you are currently like not in a relationship, you don't really have anyone you are involved with like romantically, then this could be, you know, with your best friend, it could be with like your sibling, it could be like literally, it could even be with your teacher if you have a profound relationship with your teacher, you know? It can be with anyone. So I think the problem here is like your intuition has been like really wanting to say something, you know, with the Queen of Swords. Your intuition has been wanting to say something, but something is hindering you from saying anything. And again, I think the devil is telling us why. I think the devil here is essentially the person in question, right? The person in question here is the devil in this situation, where they might be like really alluring. The devil is really alluring. The devil looks scary, and they're also like really charming. Again, they don't have to like literally look scary, but you know, like they're really charming. They're really alluring. They're really like, they can almost like put a spell on you, and you essentially, they are controlling your behavior. Essentially, you are not doing things that you want to do. You are doing things that this person wants you to do. And that is a problem, my friend. Okay, you are not in control of your life. There has been, okay, this is a little bit unrelated, but I have pulled the devil for quite a few readings. So much. I don't know if this is kind of like a collective experience that we're all like experiencing right now, but yeah. The thing about the devil though is that you know, again, you might feel trapped as well, right? In this relationship. You might feel trapped. You know deep down that something is not right. And you might even feel like, this is like karma, right? Because justice is about karma. Although I kind of see karma a little bit differently. You might feel like this is karma, maybe you've done something wrong in the past and it's like this is just coming to bite you now. But yeah, a lot of swords here as well. So really, like, I think deep down you know that you are powerful. You are so like sure of yourself. But then because of the devil, like you're forgetting who you really are, you know? And The devil gives the illusion that you are trapped even though you are not. Okay? If we look at this image, okay, I might even need to like zoom in a little. I hope this is focusing. Hello. Okay. If you look at this image, right, these people, one of these people is you. I'm so sorry, bestie, but this is you right now, okay? And you feel like you are being chained up by this person, right? But the thing is, if you look closely, that chain, it's not even that tight. You can easily get yourself off of this chain. You can take off that chain and run the fuck away from this person. But obviously, like, you know, you might be someone who, you know, if you're faced with a problem, your response is like freeze. Right? You just can't do anything. Again, I feel like that's why there's like a blockage in your throat chakra here. Like you really want to say something, but you just can't. And yeah, you can take off that chain, my friend. You can take that chain off. Is what the deal is with the devil. Let's see, let's pull another card to get some advice. What is the solution here? Obviously, like, that is difficult. I can totally acknowledge that. Like, it's not as simple as like just taking off the chain and then running away. Like, it's not that easy. Just know that even though it's difficult, that is the reality. Like, it kind of is that simple. I know that, well, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get really annoyed when I hear that. Because, like, if it really is that easy, I wouldn't be in this situation. You know what I mean? Or you wouldn't be in this situation, right? Okay, what is the advice? House 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. I think the solution here lies in the spiritual realm. I think it's about like connecting back to your spirituality. It's interesting because I think that's what you ultimately what you need to work on first is like internal. Like what you need to do is internal, and I think once you start like connecting to your spirituality, connecting to your spiritual team, your guides, the universe, like whatever it is that you connect with, everything will sort of like fall into place. Like everything else will become easy. All of a sudden you will be like, okay, I can take this chain off. You know? Let's see what the guidebook says about House 12, what the advice or omen is. Funnily enough, I already bookmarked this page. Okay, so the omen here. Move away from sweeping statements like, I am happy, I am depressed, I'm a success, I'm a failure, he is good, he is bad, this is my life forever. That is very much giving the devil. Can you embrace yourself and the nature of all living things as multidimensional? You're free to take a completely different shape today than yesterday. And in this moment, you can be many things at once. Names and labels are useful but limiting. Identify with your soul more than your emotions and your sense of self more than your identity. I love that. I actually really love that. Because the devil is very much like super black and white thinking as well. And it's so easy, right, to think that like you were trapped, because that's ultimately like, if you're resonating with this, if you're still listening to this, then I'm guessing that that's how you feel, right? You feel trapped. It's really about like embracing, like, two truths can exist at the same time, you know? And you are not broken, okay? I don't know why I feel like I need to tell you that. You are not broken. You weren't like born like defunct. There's nothing inherently wrong about you. And you choose who you want to be, okay? Don't let anybody, don't let this person tell you who you are, right? I feel like being in this relationship with this person has, made you see yourself in such a dark light, like yeah, which is really sad. And like, what you need to know is that you get to choose. You get to, even in this moment, it doesn't even have to be tomorrow. In this moment, you get to choose what you want to do, what the next step is, even if it's like, oh, but that's so not me, or like, I'm not that kind of person, or whatever it is. You become X, whatever it is that you want to be, through your actions. Your actions create who you are. Like, yes, there are some elements where, like, you can't change your essence, you can't change like the core of yourself, but you can change your identity. You can choose who you want to be, essentially. Don't let this person tell you who you are. Don't let this person control you, because you are so much more powerful than that, and I think you have forgotten that, which is really sad. Okay? Group number 2, if that resonated with you, I would really appreciate if you pressed that like button. It's really going to help me create more of this if this was helpful for you. If you give me a comment as well, that's going to help me create more of this. Or if you want like a more in-depth guidance with me, then I do offer private tarot readings as well. Otherwise, I'm so grateful that you're here. Yeah, let me know in the comments. I would love to know who you are. Thank you so much. And hopefully see you soon. Bye. All right, group number 3. If you chose this deck, then this is going to be the reading for you. One of my favorite decks. I'm just saying. Oh. A card already wants to come out, but we are going to put that back, but maybe we'll see if Buffy decides to come out again. Right. So, group number 3. Let's see what problem your intuition has been trying to tell you about. Oh my god. This deck is so excited to tell you. Okay, I actually already saw her. So I think it's meant to be. We've got the Page of Stakes. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. The cards are just flying. Let's pull one more card. What is the problem your intuition has been trying to tell you about? How is this a problem? Okay. Five of Stakes to represent how this is a problem. Okay, got it. And let's see what area of your life this problem is manifesting in. Okay. Sagittarius. Optimism, exploration, and freedom. Okay, let me just synthesize what your message is. I think with the Page of Stakes here, by the way, if you didn't know, this is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer deck. That's why I said, let's see if Buffy has a message for you. If you are familiar with the iconic TV show. So I'm going to be using like the characters, my knowledge of the characters in that show to read these cards as well, because since these two cards specifically are talking about the problem that your intuition has been trying to tell you about. The Page of Stakes is Harmony. She is a vampire and she can be a little bit like impulsive, you know. The stakes again with Sagittarius here as well, but it's also interesting because it's paired with Pentacles card here. It's giving very much like impulsive, very like fiery, because Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's a mutable fire sign. I think the problem here is that you might be your impulsive nature could be creating problems in your life, and maybe you're a little bit like, because in this image there's a little like letter. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It says Slayer, come out and die. So maybe like there's a part of you that likes to like taunt people, and that part of you is creating a problem in your life. And with the Five of Stakes here, which is the card representing like why this is a problem, like you are breaking things that you are not meaning to break, you know. And this is a stakes card again. Stakes in this deck is basically wands, and the wands represents the element of fire. So there's a lot of fire here. Although we do have the Queen of Pentacles in the middle. So I think the problem is, like, I think you are forgetting like what is, you're just all talk. I'm just gonna be straight up, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing in the cards. Because the Queen of Pentacles is someone who actually acts upon their values, and they don't just like say that they don't just say about like, oh, this is important to me, like this is my value, this is whatever. Like, they don't just say that like they care about mental health, but then in reality your actions do not reflect that at all. Again, like every time I see the Queen of Pentacles, I always think about like people who post like the black squares on their Instagram page during the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, that is an ongoing thing, but like it's not just about like posting a fucking black square on your Instagram and all of a sudden like you care about black people. Do you know what I mean? Like the Queen of Pentacles shows it through their behavior, you know? And the Pentacles is a lot like slower, like moves more slowly, more calculated. You think before you like do something, and the problem is you don't. With Sagittarius and Page of Stakes here, the problem is you don't. And yeah, you are creating like conflict in your life. Maybe you've been like arguing with a lot of people. Yeah, because here in this image, this is Giles. Giles is someone who is very much like calculated. He's very careful. He's very like, he's very intelligent. He's very caring and blah 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 blah. But in this image, he's a human, by the way, but in here he's a demon, and he's basically, this is like a dream. I think it's a dream. And he's like breaking his home basically because he's so powerful and he doesn't even know it. So I think yeah, you are breaking, like, you're basically breaking your own home from this rash behavior. And the Queen of Pentacles wants to remind you to, you know, think about what it is that's really important to you, and use that as your compass, as your guidance on how to, on what to do with your life, you know? Because yeah, just be honest with yourself. A lot of things are breaking now. With the Five of Stakes here, there's a little bit too much conflict, and like, for what? You know, is there a part of you that needs attention? Is there a part of you that just keeps wanting to experience something new? Because again, with Sagittarius here, Sagittarius is, you know, about exploration. It's about freedom. So are you acting like this, like, you know, taunting people and like being too impulsive because you want to feel that sense of freedom? You can also feel a sense of freedom through controlled is not the word that I want to use here. through intentional behavior. There's also freedom in that, like the Queen of Pentacles can be, it can it can feel a little bit rigid because like, oh, like if I'm just acting out of my values, it means that like I can't do like what my heart desires in the present moment. Like, no, it doesn't mean that. Think about it like this, like you there's freedom in there is you can experience freedom while also acting in integrity to your values, to the things that you deem important. Because a lot of us are so stuck in like the quote unquote rules that society has put upon us, that has been so deeply ingrained in us. But there is freedom in, like you are free to do something that feels right to you, even if that upsets other people. Which you might be upsetting other people right now, but it's like not it seems like a little bit unnecessary, and I'm not saying that you can control other people's feelings, but it's like it's a different experience when people are upset when you are asserting your boundaries, when you are doing something that feels right to you. Can't exactly put them into words right now. But yeah, I hope you get what I mean. Let's just pull another card to see what the guidance is for you. Like, okay, so this is a problem. What is the solution then? I mean, I kind of have been already talking about the solution. Oop. Okay, 2 cards wanted to come out. There's Taurus. Again, Taurus is, an earth sign, which again, I've been focusing a lot on the pentacles, which is also like the element of earth. And then there's cardinal. So Taurus is trust, patience, and sensuality, and cardinal is instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. Let me show you the cards. Okay. Let's see what the guidebook says about Taurus and cardinal. The first line is very, very apt. Perhaps you've been feeling out of alignment or fearful. Be patient and trust in your process of becoming. Sink deeply into each moment, even if you find yourself in trying times. Feel your way into each forward step, always asking yourself what aligns and what doesn't. Isn't that what I've been saying this whole time? But yeah, I think this rash, like impulsive behavior of yours, I think you're doing this because you are not patient enough to sit with your feelings, to, because it's uncomfortable, right? Sitting with your true feelings can reveal a lot of like really, really uncomfortable things. But it's needed. It's very much needed. I'm just gonna continue the guidebook here. Feel your way into each forward step, always asking yourself what aligns and what doesn't. So yeah, it's asking you to be more intentional, before you act, ask yourself whether this actually aligns with you. Your body is an instrument to connect to the wisdom of this moment, so honor your inner knowing through every sensory experience. Give your growth the gift of time. There's no rush. The blossomed rose lives within the bud. Yeah, so you're really being asked to slow down. Slow down, okay? You're being, yeah, you're going way too quickly, and you are hurting yourself, you are hurting like your environment, you are hurting the people around you that love you. And you really need to really connect with your body, because Taurus is very much like, that's why it's like sensual, because Taurus is really connected to the body. And I think that's what's missing here. Like, there is hurt in your body and you don't want to connect to it, which, I don't blame you. Like, it's it's unpleasant, like, to say the least, right? And you can, like, we've been talking about freedom, we've been talking about choice, so you ultimately have the choice here. You can stay in your comfort zone, which is, like acting impulsively and being really quick with your wits and everything like that, which is, I feel like that's partly why people love you as well. It's just like, you can't expect a different outcome from doing the same exact things. Things need to change. Maybe you would disagree with me, but I feel like if you're here, then there's a part of you that, wants something in your life to change. And it is really to slow the fuck down. Okay? Okay. I promised to look at the cardinal, so let's see what the cardinal has to say for you. Is the energy that I don't understand very much of cardinal signs. Okay. So it's about new beginnings. Okay, pioneering. The book here says, it's time to forge a new path. Be bold and step outside of your comfort zone. What have I been saying about your comfort zone? Call on bravery to blossom. You are held by the unconditional love of your angels. This is relevant to any area, large or small, where you feel blocked or in need of a push. The change you seek begins with you, and even one small shift creates an echo. So yeah, it's like, in order to create lasting change, you have to be kind to yourself as well, okay? Be patient with yourself, which again, I know obviously with these two cards coming out here, it's difficult for you. Again, if you want lasting change, if you want this change to be sustainable, then you have to take it one step at a time. Take baby steps, okay? Don't like don't push yourself like in front of a cliff, and that's because that's very much Sagittarius. To just jump off a cliff and deep dive yourself into something new. But yeah, the guidance here keeps pushing you into the direction of slowness, of intention, of patience, and everything that you find difficult. But I think deep down you know that it is a problem. So well done. Well done on you for recognizing that. And, I feel like with you being this far into the reading, it means that you are open to this. And for that is a small step. So don't discount your, again, it's all about the smallest things, right? It's about noticing and acknowledging yourself for the smallest things. So yeah, that's all I have for you, group number 3. If that resonated, then I would really, really appreciate if you give me a like, and if you want me to do more of these readings, which I haven't been, then that is just one way to help me create more of these videos. If you leave me a comment as well, I would really, really appreciate that. I love reading comments of people sharing like how they resonate with my readings. It's like the highlight of this whole process is when I read your comments. So I would really appreciate that. And yeah, if you're interested in a private reading, I do offer that as well. And hopefully I will see you again soon, group number 3. Bye.